my podcast. Yeah, I said it. Here's the thing. I still don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know if I'm going to upload this. But part of me just wants to like put it out there. You know, people put out stuff all the time that are very interesting. One I saw last night too. I was like, they had 7 views. And listen, if there are 7 people that would watch my video of me talking, I'd be the star of the internet. I'm sorry. I would feel like I was the star of the internet. So if I think about the reason why I started this podcast, it was so I could be true and genuine and share my experience with people. And right now I'm having an experience. Yeah, I'm in a low swing of depression right now. That's for goddamn sure. A lot of stuff going on. And so why not get it out? You know, I had a great talk with one of my friends today. I had wonderful messages because I put it out there on Twitter, because that's what we're calling it. Let me read it. You heard of the distinction that those who seem the happiest and positive on the outside are more depressed and hurting on the inside. Yeah, that's true. For me, it's a true distinction. Why? Because I don't want anybody else to live in that state of hopelessness. Any crippling pain of hopelessness. Let me tell you, for today, me right now, in this moment, the crippling pain of hopelessness will be on the outside. I am struggling. I am spiraling. That bathroom floor is looking real nice. Yeah, having a real low swing with depression right now. Feeling really, really inadequate. Let me go ahead. I wrote a poem, as I had mentioned before with my diaries. I write stuff. So, and it's just going to get it out. Okay. So I wrote this morning at 6:57 a.m. I am not enough. I'm not white enough. I am not black enough. I am not enough. I am not healthy enough. I don't drink enough water. I don't get enough sleep. I don't breathe enough. I don't walk enough. I'm not thin enough to fit anything or anywhere. I am not enough. I don't get paid enough. I'm not poor enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not old enough. I'm not young enough. I am not enough. I do not qualify. I do not meet the requirements. I do not have enough of a need. I am not enough. Because that's how I've been feeling. That's really the crux, the foundation of a lot of my stuff. Through therapy, I've worked out that, being adopted is trauma. And it carries a lot of trauma of abandonment, that I wasn't enough. Another one is that I try. I try, and it still doesn't work. And then there comes that sense of, well, you didn't try harder. You should try more. You didn't try enough. And that thought that comes is like, you always got to keep it. What if you do it and you just can't? The thing about me too with the trying is that there will be times where I'll come back around and try it again. I know this isn't the same, but let's talk about bell peppers for a second. I don't like them. I know I should. They're wonderful. They're beautiful. They're colorful. They're amazing. They smell good. I just don't like them. And I've tried several times in several different ways, asking people, them giving me recipes. I just can't take to it. And I've tried several times. So no one can ever accuse me of not trying. But what I don't want to hear is that I didn't try enough, because I already tell myself that. Enough. Enough. That should be the name of this. Enough. It's just, that's the day. That's the day I'm having. So, long story long. I had a seizure at work. Unknown, unprovoked, no reason. It's the 3rd one I've had. 2nd one at work. Put a pin in that. So I'm dealing with trying to get, leave approved. Since this is my 3rd go round with this, I know kind of what to do. I have a checklist of things because there hasn't been a known cause. I compared the 1st one to the 2nd one, and the 2nd one to the 3rd one, and the 3rd one to all of them, right? And there's a checklist that I have, which is medication, sleep, water, food, oxygen, which I found out this time, and stress, which I found out this time. So when two or more of those things are off balance or not like taken care of, I step back and do that mental checklist. Like, okay, what do I need to solve? And then at what point do I need to solve it, right? So if there was something like I skipped my pills or I missed my pills one day last week, I feel really dehydrated today. Oh, okay. We're gonna have to stay safe right now. But did I take all my pills? Have I drank? Okay, I should be okay. You know your body. You listen to your body. You understand what it says. And the thing is that when you say it out loud, people don't believe you. But it's like, this is my body, I know. Because without any sort of cause, that's how I have to manage it the best I can. Because there's still that dark cloud walking around. If this could happen at any time, and you have no idea when, that's scary. So there's that. And then there's my dad. Those of you know, or I may have said it in the intro. So my dad has dementia. Unfortunately, it was definitely sped up by the pandemic and isolation. And it's getting bad. And again, long story long, put a pin in this. Another topic for next time is I've been the only one. I've tried and I've asked. I've tried again. I've asked specifically. I'm still the only one. So, however, I'm getting a team. Things are slowly coming to fruition as far as my needs go. Here are my specific needs. Okay, they're finally getting met. Here are my needs. They're finally getting met. And I forgot to say this to my friend in our conversation today, is that it's that slow process of identifying the need and having it taken care of. Like, I want it immediately because that's what I would do, because that's I'm accustomed to doing. We talk about being generational, latchkey kids. I had a job lined up of 14 at Burger King. We had to fend for ourselves. We had to do things for ourselves, and we had to do it quickly. My kitty's at the door. She's whining. We had a rough night with her too. She locked herself in the den for some reason. And I heard banging, and I was like, oh, and I thought maybe it was my dad getting up, because that happens often now. He gets up in the middle of the night and he tries to leave or think that it's daytime. Yeah. And yes, VA, yes, that again, Dialis, y'all know me. I tried. I did. And that's where my anxiety is coming from. I definitely was in an anxiety attack for like a good solid hour yesterday. And I had friends to talk to. And everybody that I reached out called me back. But that was the thing. I needed something immediate. And I was getting upset and I was getting more. But every single person came through. I just had to wait a little bit. One of the comments that someone gave me today was hang in there, wait a little longer. And I remember that's what the guys say. That's what Tay says. That's what Sugar says. So I need to practice patience. And it comes down to, patience with myself. Yeah, Dialis, you do try it. You need to give yourself a lot more credit than you're giving yourself. But then as this high functioning person, and I gotta believe I'm not the only one. You always gotta be on that grind. You always gotta, I have to keep trying. I have to keep doing. I have to keep doing. I have to keep doing. Because the moment you pull back, the moment you start to give yourself grace, am I deserving of this? I don't deserve this. If people only knew how lazy I am, how blah, blah, blah. All the shit you tell yourself. I had a friend ask me though, or give me some pointers about what I should do as far as my dad's care goes. And she was like, yeah, you should have like a file of things and phone numbers. I was like, oh, you mean this? You mean the book that everybody knows about and where it is and how it has all the numbers and all the notes and all the color codings, the tags on them? You mean that? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I already have it. I went to a caregiver financial seminar, And they gave a lot of great tips about caregiving, not just elder care, but caregiving in general. And one of them was with elder care is to have the talk with your elders while they're still coherent. It's not a good conversation to have. It's very tricky. Like, hey, let's talk about when you die. You don't really want to go to your parents with that. But I'll say this, y'all. Please do it, because me having to catch up, can't say it did contribute to the seizure, but can't say it didn't. So have the talk. Your parents had the talk with you. Have the talk with your parents. My best advice. Second, and absolutely, also first, get a power of attorney. Those two things. So where did I leave off? It's been difficult. But like I said, I posted it on Twitter, and I put it out there so it could stop, so these feelings of hopelessness can not have such a stranglehold over me. It's one of my tools. It's kind of working, I guess. I can't say I guess. Every single person that I've come to and I've said, hey, I'm struggling, has met me with grace and love, kindness, softness, openness. So with this seizure, you can't drive for 6 months. And unfortunately, I live in an area where transportation is a struggle at best. I was asking my job, instead of working 3 days at home, 2 days in the office, to work 5 days from home. I am now being put through it. I'm now being put through it. When I talked with my friends, we talked about all the reasons why things and systems are put into place because people abuse it. And so the people that need it then have to fight even harder to prove that they deserve it and that they won't abuse it. I just hate that things are always done in almost every aspect of society because someone was a fucking idiot, or someone was looking out for their own self-interest. I know that there are people out there, but what about all the people that aren't? A good example of this is, if you put up a sign, no one will read it because you'll get questions about things that were on the sign. But how many people do read it that you wouldn't know because they followed the directions on the sign and they didn't come ask you a question? How many of those people are there that you don't notice? It's not how our society works. But it's an observation that really, really bothers me. I won't go into too much detail because this is talking about my mental state of being right now, but this is a contributing factor. Me and my friend were talking about the pandemic opened our eyes. You know that meme? I ain't got time for that. I don't have any time to be anything else but my authentic, true self. And I need that from people in my life. And if the person I am speaking to is not able to do so, there is no judgment from me. I just know now I have the choice of how I want to proceed. That's all I'm asking for. Information to make decisions. I'm actually not crying as much. I said I would talk until the water's gone. It's almost gone. So if I were me at this point, I'd probably stop watching. So if you continue right now, awesome. Love you. I came across this thing also called smiling depression or functioning depression. People who they can get up out of bed and go to work and perform all the niceties and engage in conversation, but they're not fully present. And then they come home at the end of the day absolutely exhausted. I encourage you at this point, I need to absolutely make my firm stance. If you are experiencing any sort of mental health concerns, thoughts, questions, reach out. Know that the 988 hotline is there for you. Because I did, and that's why I think I've been able to identify these things. to know what I need to work on, and then to allow space to be open to the things that I don't know that I need to work on. So please, if you get anything from the videos and the things that I say, is that your feelings are valid. Whatever you're feeling is valid, and it needs to be treated as such. It is precious to you, and if it's not being met, I want it to be met for you. So, back to the regularly scheduled liquid emotion. See rogue curls, just like the logo. It's interesting too, because I've obviously been dealing with depression for, what I say, when I was 12 or 14, around that time, and I'm 44. That's a long time. It's not cured. I just can manage it sometimes better than others. And I have tools. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But I'm fortunate. And so I can see something, how smiling depression or functioning depression is real, because to know me at first, you wouldn't think. Did any of you think? Who hasn't known me, my whole life? Or I didn't tell. Ooh, wee. Is the person that I am online, and the things that I expressed in that is the person that is here right now. I ain't got time for anything else but authenticity. Say it with me now. I ain't got time for anything else but authenticity. I got one life. You got one life. I'm not going to spend any more time not being who I am. Neither should you. I said what I said, and yeah, I said it. That's also a really good ending. I got another one. I said a lot of things today, but yeah, I said it. Aren't those amazing? So talking this out, talking with my friends, having them be there for me, having people who never met me before be there for me, having whoever's watching and listening to this be there for me, just by doing so, just by inquiring, who is this girl and what is going on? We got to share these things, got to get it. Each time that I talk about it, it gets less and less, even though, I might start crying, but I can recover a little bit more. Getting back to the how I'm feeling. People with depression or mental illness, there's this thought of how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to act. You have to be stuck crying in bed, unable to get up. No, you could be a person riding the bus every day and still have crippling depression. Damaging. Goes back to my first story of my introduction about the guy that was sitting across from me, who looked like he had everything together. And he said all the same feelings that my isolated mind was trying to tell myself. But that feeling of not being enough. I don't look sick enough to be as hurt as inside. Well, you're happy all the time. Well, you're positive all the time. How could you be sad? I didn't get that from anybody in Army, though, or none of my friends. Because again, I ain't got time for any triflingness, so I'm gonna surround myself with people that are what? 110. I ain't got time for it. I don't. I don't. And that's maybe with the isolation of the pandemic. It obviously, for me and my friend, it was. I ain't putting up with anything anymore that does not serve me and my needs. So, it's been rough. My own sickness that I didn't think I'd have to deal with again. And I try to tell myself, like, ooh, you knew the other shoe would drop. Everything was going really great. And then, boom, my body was like, nah, bitch, we need to take you down a couple pegs. At least that's how I feel. Does that mean I'm going to stop trying? It might be on pause for a little bit, but I'll try for the things that I want and the things that I need. And I have to give things time. It's really hard to do. So, the moral of the story is that Dallas just isn't doing good right now. I'll get up and I'll do my best, but I know it's not my best because I'm not at my best. And that's okay. I know I can make it through. Like the countless times I have before. I don't really have a lot of energy, but I will recover. Not there yet. And yesterday I couldn't have said any of the things I just said before that. That's for GD, sure. But in the end, if I think about that sticky note that I wrote, which says, I love all memories of my life, meaning even times like these, there has to be something good that comes from this. I will learn a lesson because I ain't got time for anything else. We're going to wrap it up there. Oh my gosh, I didn't cry the entire time. That's good. Maybe I will post this. So thank you, everybody. Again, thank you for being on this journey with me. It's been incredible so far. Thank you so much, Borge. And I know I said a lot of things today, but yeah, I said